This is the story of the Hulk. Not the Hulk we think we know, but a beast, a monster, one who fell from the sky onto the savage planet of Sakaar. Sakaar, a world where every creature is a predator and only the strongest survive. They stabbed him, scorched him, ripped at his flesh, tearing him apart again and again. But even as they savaged him, as he writhed in agony, the Hulk never forgot. He never forgot the real monsters who'd sent him here. They thought they could break him. They thought he'd be lost in this pit of beasts, but they didn't know the Hulk. They didn't know that beneath his rage was a fire that even this hostile world could never extinguish. The puny humans. They were the ones who sent him here. The ones who dared to turn their backs on him. Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, Black Bolt. Together, they made a choice. They shot him into space, cast him out, banished him to the void. They thought they were saving their world. They thought he was finally dead, but they were wrong. He survived because he is the Green Scar, the world breaker, the very eye of anger itself. They may call him the Hulk, but they don't know the monster he's about to become. And now, he's coming home. The Hulk, the Green Scar, the world breaker, fueled by the rage of betrayal and the strength forged in the fires of Sakaar. He's not the monster they once knew. He's something far more terrifying, and he's coming back to the world that cast him out. This time, he won't be stopped. North American Aerospace Defense Command, Outpost B-23, Cheyenne, Wyoming. The screen shows a dark, secure room with soldiers at their stations. The crew on night shift was deep in conversation. So, then I said, dude, if you're such a good friend, how come you're always judging? I mean... Suddenly, one of them stops, eyes glued to the screen. Hang on. Are you getting this? Getting what? An alert begins to beep urgently, with increasing intensity. Beep, beep, beep. Sector 12. 3 apples. Baker. 44. He mutters. Yeah, I'm picking that up. The other responds casually. We call it the moon. But the first technician is focused, his brow furrowing as he leans in. No, I'm telling you, there's something else on the scope. Something big, something unstoppable. You have come unannounced to the land of the Inhumans, armor on, girded for war. But surely you cannot want this fight. The scene shows the towering figure of Black Bolt's loyal guard, warning the Hulk. You have faced my lord before, Hulk, and you were defeated. Black Bolt's master blow can shatter your bones. His merest whisper will blow your broken body into the sun. The camera shifts to Hulk, unmoved, his expression cold and resolute. But Hulk simply replies, "You shot me into space." Silence falls, the weight of betrayal thick in the air. The Hulk stands, fury burning in his eyes. With a voice full of rage, he declares, "You killed my world." Another voice, desperate but determined, calls out, "Stop, Hulk." But Hulk's response is simple, unyielding, "Never." And then Black Bolt himself speaks, his voice carrying the weight of command. "Enough." The air seems to tremble with his word as silence falls, the calm before the storm. Black Bolt, ruler of the Inhumans, stands unfazed before the Hulk. His eyes meet the monster's, filled with resolve. With quiet intensity he speaks, "I didn't come here for a whisper." The air thickens, charged with the threat of his power. The tension crackles in the air as Hulk locks eyes with Black Bolt, his fury palpable. With a guttural roar, he declares, "I want to hear you scream." The words reverberate, a challenge thrown into the chaos, echoing with the promise of destruction. Beep, beep, beep. "Commander, we have a situation." The voice crackles over the comms. The screen flashes to a busy command center, filled with frantic officers and monitors flashing warnings. There's been an explosion on the moon, chunks of lunar rock breaking out of orbit. But that's not all. Suddenly, a technician exclaims, "Wait a minute, we've just lost our signals." The scene cuts to Tony Stark in a crowded press conference, reporters clamoring for answers. He addresses the crowd. "Something's hit the satellites, Mr. President. You need to give the order now, before..." As chaos reigns, a reporter interrupts. "Director Stark, any truth to the rumors about a fight with She-Hulk, political disagreement, or lover's spat?" A guard quickly interjects. "No interviews today, kids." Meanwhile, the president sits alone in the White House, a look of grave concern on his face. He mutters, "Too late." The camera cuts to the citizens of New York, looking up in fear as debris falls from the sky. It's already reached New York. In the bustling streets of New York, citizens look up in awe and fear as a massive spaceship descends from the sky. "Cool," one excited voice shouts, marveling at the sight. But then, amidst the gathering crowd, a familiar voice rises, filled with unbridled fury. Hulk bellows, "Puny humans, I've come to smash, and you should know who's to blame." The excitement in the crowd quickly turns to panic. One citizen shouts, "Woom, not cool." As chaos erupts, the tension thickens, with people scrambling for safety and the realization of the Hulk's wrath dawning upon them. Hulk's voice booms as he addresses Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic Four, Black Bolt, his fury palpable. "You call them heroes," he snarls, pointing at the display screen in Times Square, New York. "But I call them monsters. Listen to what they told me before they tried to kill me." The scene shifts to an underground train screen, where the heroes appear, their expressions filled with regret. One of them speaks, voice heavy with remorse. "I have always thought of us as friends, Bruce. So I am truly, genuinely sorry." But the message continues, casting a shadow over their intentions. "But for your sake and ours, we're sending you away. It's the only way we can be sure." The screen flickers to Tokyo, where more heroes appear on the giant screen, their words echoing ominously. Then the scene shifts to a soccer field in London, where Hulk stands defiantly as hologram, his voice filled with raw emotion. "Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt. They shot me into space, sent me to a planet called Sakaar, where I could be cut, even killed. Where the Emperor made me a slave and then a gladiator. They sent me to die." His words hang in the air, heavy with the weight of betrayal and fury. Hulk's voice rises above the chaos, filled with raw determination and haunting memories. "But I survived, with my war-bound. Korn, Meek, Elo, Brood, Heroim. We made a world. I was a Green King, and Kyra the Old Strong was my queen." The screen flickers, revealing glimpses of his reign, a life built amidst struggle and triumph. But then, darkness looms. His expression hardens as he recalls the betrayal. "But your heroes sent a bomb, killed 1,000,000 people." Hulk's voice booms with authority, filled with righteous anger. "Now this city will fall. You have 24 hours to evacuate." His eyes blaze with intensity as he delivers his ultimatum. "When I return, I want to see Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange. And if they're not here..." His threat hangs heavy in the air, a dark promise of retribution that sends shivers through the crowd. In a moment of sheer power, Hulk lifts Black Bolt, injuries marking his body, a testament to the battle that has unfolded. Hulk's voice is a growl, filled with rage and determination. "I'll do this to your whole stinking planet." The air crackles with tension as the weight of his threat settles over everyone present. Hulk's eyes blaze with fury, embodying the wrath of a titan unleashed, ready to make his enemies understand the consequences of their actions. The scene captures the raw intensity of Hulk's power, showcasing the fear he instills in those who have wronged him. In the chaos of the unfolding crisis, Iron Man's voice cuts through the noise. "NORAD. This is Iron Man. I'm taking over satellites Baker, David 5, 6, and 9. But urgency rises as another voice interjects. Sir, wait. Whatever hit those satellites jinxed the coding, uploaded who knows what viruses and Trojans. Iron Man, undeterred, retorts, I don't ask for permission. Panic spreads as someone exclaims, My God, what's he doing? Iron Man focuses, his mind racing as he taps into the satellite's mainframes. I'm rewriting the code, rerouting, and antivirusing on the fly. His determination is palpable, a technological warrior ready to confront the threat head-on, even as the odds seem stacked against him. Iron Man's voice cuts through the chaos. Can you do it? Another voice hesitates. Just... Iron Man's confidence surges. Watch me. Meanwhile, Hulk bots analyze the situation, their voice filled with astonishment. Incredible. His body's laced with some kind of cybernetic material. He's used it to take back control. But the stakes are rising as Hulk growls, his fury palpable. Stupid humans! Iron Man grunts, straining under the pressure. Gah! Another voice breaks in. What is it, sir? The tension thickens, each moment teetering on the brink of chaos, as Iron Man fights against overwhelming odds, determined to save the day. Iron Man, sounding strained, mutters, I thought I firewalled it, but they modified their EMP, took out the satellites again. The feedback hit me like a brick. Someone responds, urgency in their voice. Give us an hour. We're rebooting the ground network to get the nukes online. Doctor Strange's voice cuts in, calm, but laced with worry. He withstood Black Bolt's voice. Do you think your machines can stop him? He's never been angrier, so he's never been stronger. Iron Man's voice turns desperate. Use your magic, Stephen. Send him away. Doctor Strange's tone hardens. No, we created this problem. We must solve it. We have 24 hours. Each of us must prepare in our own way. In the meantime, my comrades will help you evacuate the city, if you can resist arresting them for a few hours. Iron Man replies, determined. I'll do more than that. All unregistered superheroes who help will get a full pardon if they turn themselves in when this is all over. A pause, and Doctor Strange's voice is edged with irony. A nice sentiment. Sadly, it assumes we'll be alive when this is over. Then, another voice breaks in, the President. Iron Man, are you there? Iron Man responds, Yes, Mr. President. What's going on? The President's voice, grim and heavy. We're evacuating Manhattan. God help us all. Iron Man's reply echoes the weight of their reality. I'm afraid we can't arrange for that, sir. 47 minutes have passed. In northern Vermont, Iron Man speaks with determination. We're working on the next best thing. Robert, focused, replies, I stopped that hurricane in Bogota, just like you asked, Reed. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, answers, Well done, Robert. That's part of your exposure therapy, helping you get used to being out in the world. Robert, curious, asks, So what's next? An earthquake? A volcano? Iron Man replies with a sense of gravity, Close. Reed explains, It's the Hulk. Robert's voice shifts, concerned. The Hulk? Is he in trouble? Reed nods. You could say that. Robert, with a tone of loyalty. The Hulk's my friend. Reed continues. That's right, Robert. When you're around him, he calms down. I think he'd like to see you now. You make him feel better. His pain fades. Robert's voice grows tense as he recalls. The last time I saw the Hulk, he was fighting the Void. The Void broke every bone in his body. And then, I found out I was the Void. Iron Man, trying to reassure him. Robert, you defeated the Void, remember? You're the Sentry, the most powerful human being in the universe. Robert, we need you. Robert, hesitating, stammers. I don't. Reed's voice is steady, almost pleading. The Hulk needs you. In the heart of Vermont, Robert stands surrounded by Iron Man and Reed Richards. His inner turmoil slowly resolves, and in a moment of calm confidence, he begins to transform. Robert's voice deepens as he accepts his identity. All right, I'm ready. With newfound strength and resolve, he becomes the Sentry, the golden light emanating around him, his presence powerful and commanding. As he turns to Iron Man, there's a note of urgency in his voice. Tony, a word please. An evacuation is underway in New York. Crowds fill the streets, tension thick in the air. Amidst the chaos, a voice cuts through. Looking good, folks. Let's keep it moving. But the people are restless. A citizen shouts, "Get your hands off me, you fascist. You can't make me go." The crowd stirs as others shout out, "Spidey, what's going on?" The same folks who want to lock you up shot the Hulk into space. Now they're trying to take our homes. Spider-Man tries to diffuse the tension, his tone calm but firm. "You're mixing things up there, pal. Look, we're not going." But before anyone can react, a massive shadow looms over the crowd. A voice yells, "Oh my God, it's the Hulk." An explosive Wacom echoes, and the scene erupts into chaos as people scatter in fear. With a thunderous landing, She-Hulk crashes down like a hero, her presence commanding attention. She confidently declares, "No, it's the She-Hulk." The She-Hulk smashes about 1,000 times harder than that. "You really want to hang around to meet him?" Spider-Man chimes in, enthusiasm in his voice. "Yeah, what she said." A voice from the crowd, slightly bewildered. "What do you mean, Jersey? I need to go to Brooklyn." As the chaos continues, the crowd buzzes with a mix of fear and excitement, uncertain of what's to come next. From the ship's speakers comes an urgent message. "This is your last chance for evacuation. If you wish to receive assistance, all you need to do is think about it. Our telepaths will locate you, and a team will arrive to get you off the island." The voice becomes cold, delivering a grim statement. As of 6:13 p.m., anyone who remains is presumed to have done so voluntarily. The U.S. government will not be held responsible for your injury or death. In a nearby street, a group of officers and Spider-Man watch the mass exodus. One officer mutters, 5 million people, all moved in 24 hours. Never thought it could be done. But I gotta say, I don't see what the big deal is. We've handled the Hulk before, right? Another officer shakes his head, his face tense. This isn't like before, Chief. Hulk took down Black Bolt. Confused, the first officer asks, "Who exactly is this Black Bolt guy again?" Spider-Man jumps in, throwing out his signature wit. "Well, before I saw what Hulk did to him, I thought Black Bolt was the second most powerful guy in the galaxy." The officer, still skeptical, asks, "So, now I guess he's the third?" With a grin, Spider-Man responds, "Yeah, but don't worry. Numero uno's on his way." He gestures dramatically as he introduces the imminent arrival. "Ladies and gentlemen, behold, the blonde bombshell, the Golden Guardian, the..." Spider-Man glances over and sighs. "Aw, nuts." Iron Man's voice carries through his armor. "That's not exactly the effect I was going for." Spider-Man shrugs and replies, "No offense, boss, but we were kinda expecting the Sentry." Iron Man nods, trying to reassure him he'll be here when the time's right. With his signature humor, Spider-Man quips, "Dude, is Galactus back in town? Because otherwise..." But he's suddenly cut off, a look of alarm flashing across his masked face. "Yow!" Iron Man catches on quickly. "Spider sense?" Spider-Man's eyes narrow beneath his mask as he replies, "Like you wouldn't believe." With authority in his voice, Iron Man speaks, "Get the civilians back and under the barricades. We need to keep them safe." He continues, addressing each of the heroes in turn. She-Hulk, Samson, Cage, Wonder Man, Ms. Marvel. I need you to keep everybody clear of the combat zone. The weight of the mission is clear, but Iron Man knows the risk. This is my fight. Pausing, he reminds them of the unique challenge that the Hulk poses. Remember, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. So don't engage until I'm finished with him. Iron Man's resolve is firm as he adds, or until he's done with me. The city trembles as Iron Man and the Hulk square off. In this moment, two of Earth's mightiest forces stand ready, prepared to unleash their full power. Iron Man, fully suited in his most advanced armor, braces himself and speaks over the comm. Friday, keep an eye on my vitals. This is going to get rough. With a burst of energy, Iron Man launches himself toward the Hulk, jets blazing. He hurls the first punch, landing with a thunderous impact that echoes through the city streets. The Hulk barely flinches, and with a growl, he swings back, his enormous green fist meeting Iron Man's armor with a shattering blow. In the intense exchange, the two continue trading punches, each hit like an earthquake rocking New York City. Iron Man struggles to hold his ground, but he knows every second counts. He has to buy time for the evacuation. Iron Man's voice, strained but determined. You're not the only one who's gotten stronger, Hulk. But the Hulk is relentless, his anger growing with every strike. With each punch, the Hulk's strength only seems to increase, his roars echoing louder as he barrels forward, throwing Iron Man through walls, through concrete. Yet Iron Man doesn't back down. With a flicker of resolve, he retaliates, firing repulsor blasts, trying to subdue his old friend turned adversary. But the Hulk shrugs off the blasts, only becoming more enraged. He lunges forward, grabbing Iron Man's armor and slamming him to the ground, the concrete cracking beneath them. And as the dust settles for a brief moment, Iron Man looks up at the Hulk, his voice calm but unyielding. I'm not giving up. Not yet. High above the battlefield, a SHIELD helicopter hovers, observing the chaos below. Inside, a SHIELD officer looks out in awe, unable to fully comprehend the intensity of the battle below. SHIELD officer. Absolutely incredible. Hang on, we're picking up some kind of transmission. Tony Stark. This is Tony Stark, Iron Man, director of SHIELD. And yes, I fired the Hulk into space. So, if you need someone to blame for his return, blame me. The words hang heavy in the air. Tony Stark doesn't dodge the consequences of his actions. He owns them. The city is in peril, the people are terrified, and the Hulk is angrier than ever. But Stark's resolve doesn't waver. For Tony, this fight is more than just about saving the city. It's about facing the consequences of a choice he made in an attempt to protect humanity. A choice that now has come back to haunt him. As Iron Man continues his fierce battle against the Hulk, he speaks through gritted teeth, his words fueled by conviction and purpose. Iron Man, Tony Stark. But everything I've done, everything I'll do today, everything I'll ever do, I do to protect this world. He pauses, his voice resonating with a hint of vulnerability that slips through the mechanical armor. I remember someone once told me that with great power comes great responsibility. It's usually thought of as a lesson for children, a simple reminder to always choose what's right. But there's nothing simple about it. The Hulk roars, lunging forward, and Tony braces himself, every movement measured, every step deliberate. When I put on this armor, I took on more power than any human was ever meant to have, and maybe more responsibility than my heart can truly bear. The weight of his words hangs in the air as he stands firm against the Hulk's relentless attacks. But today, Tony Stark fights not just for victory, but to shoulder the immense responsibility he has accepted to protect humanity, even if it means facing down one of the strongest beings in existence. His determination is unshakable, his resolve steadfast. With determination burning in his voice, Iron Man's words carry through the chaos as he stands his ground against the Hulk. Ron Man, Tony Stark. I will do my job. I will protect you, no matter what it takes. Each word is a vow, an unbreakable promise. Even as he battles one of the most unstoppable forces on Earth, Tony Stark is unyielding, every blow he takes reinforcing his resolve. The sound of clashing metal fills the air as Iron Man stands firm, the the weight of his armor matched only by the weight of his commitment. The city watches, caught between fear and awe as Tony Stark, their Iron Man, refuses to back down. In Washington, D.C., someone watches Iron Man's fierce punch land on the Hulk and shouts, "Yes!" A roar erupts from Dallas, Texas, and in Las Vegas, a voice says calmly, "Guess that's it then." Another voice counters, "Don't bet on it." Back on the battlefield, the Hulk crashes to the ground, shaken but far from defeated. Iron Man, Tony Stark, breathing heavily, his voice unwavering. And today, it's going to take more than it ever has, because I've just injected the Hulk with nanobots. They're designed to suppress his powers, but there's no guarantee they'll keep him down for long. As Iron Man pauses, the weight of his words sinks in. By the authority vested in me by the United States government and by SHIELD, and because I know my friend, Bruce Banner, would want it this way. The screen shows Tony standing firm, ready for what comes next as he stares down his friend-turned-foe, knowing he may be outmatched, but never outwilled. In the sky above, an aircraft locks onto the Hulk, preparing a missile strike. Suddenly, She-Hulk notices and shouts in desperation, "She-Hulk, no, wait!" But it's too late. The missile has already been launched. With a powerful burst of energy, it strikes, engulfing the Hulk in a massive explosion. Sound. Kaboom! Through the fire and smoke, the Hulk lets out a heart-wrenching cry, his voice echoing across the battlefield. Hulk, filled with grief, his voice breaking as he shouts, "Kyra!" The explosion clears, and in the silence that follows, memories flood the Hulk's mind. He sees Kyra, his queen, their moments together flashing like a dream he can't hold on to. In his vision, he recalls the first time they met, her fierce gaze softening as she spoke to him. Kyra, voice steady, yet filled with a powerful emotion. "Will you burn with me as I burn with you?" Hulk, deeply moved, his voice low but resolute. "I will." The scene shifts, revealing Kyra's gentle smile as she stands beside him, her hand on his shoulder. Her voice echoes, each word filled with love and conviction. "Kyra, Hulku, this is where you belong, with your people, with your queen, with your child." The moment shatters as the sound of an alert breaks through the memory. Sound, beep, 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 beep. The Hulk snaps back to the present, the echo of Kyra's words lingering, a painful reminder of all he's lost and all that still drives him forward. As the painful memories of Kyra slip away, the Hulk's sorrow ignites into raw, unstoppable fury. Hulk, voice trembling with rage, each word a threat. You killed her." His anger surges, echoing across the city as he locks eyes with Iron Man, his gaze seething with vengeance. Iron Man, whispering to himself, realizing the storm he's facing. Oh, hell. Iron Man braces himself, knowing the fight has just escalated beyond anything he imagined. The Hulk's fury is no longer about a battle, it's personal. With all his strength, the Hulk leaps into the air, his massive fist aimed straight at Iron Man. Hulk, shouting, his voice booming across the battlefield, "Krakaba!" In a bone-shattering moment, Hulk's punch slams into Iron Man, the sheer force echoing with a deafening throom that shakes the very ground beneath them. Iron Man is hurled back, his armor groaning under the relentless power of Hulk's fury. As the dust settles from their last encounter, the Hulk, fueled by rage and loss, charges forward once more. With a primal roar, he unleashes a devastating punch, his immense strength propelling his fist through the air like a cannonball. Hulk, voice filled with fury, "You killed her." The impact is catastrophic. Hulk's fist collides with Iron Man's armored chest with a force that can only be described as monumental. The sound reverberates across the battlefield, a thunderous crash that echoes through the hearts of everyone watching. Iron Man's repulsor beams flicker, struggling against the overwhelming power of the Hulk's blow. He staggers backward, the ground trembling beneath him as he fights to maintain his balance, his mind racing to calculate his next move. The Hulk, consumed by his grief and fury, continues his relentless assault on Iron Man. Each punch lands with the force of a freight train, echoing like thunder across the devastated landscape. Iron Man's armor, once a symbol of hope and resilience, now struggles to withstand the unyielding might of his friend-turned-adversary. With each devastating blow, the air crackles with tension. Iron Man fights to stay on his feet, but the Hulk is relentless. One punch, then another, drives him further into the ground. Hulk, shouting with primal rage, "Grah!" The Hulk's roar shakes the very foundations of the city. It is a sound filled with anguish, anger, and a desperate plea for justice. Iron Man stumbles, struggling to rise, his systems blaring alarms as they attempt to assess the damage. But the Hulk is undeterred, driven by an unquenchable rage fueled by loss. Finally, Iron Man collapses to the ground, the weight of the battle too much for his battered armor to bear. Dust rises around him, obscuring his form as the Hulk stands over him, a colossal figure against the backdrop of destruction. In this moment, everything hangs in the balance. The world watches, holding its breath, as the Hulk prepares to unleash the final wave of his wrath. Will Iron Man find a way to reach his friend buried beneath the anger, or is this the end of the road for our armored hero? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this epic confrontation. The scene is tense in the heart of New York City. Amidst the dust and debris of a ferocious battle between Iron Man and the Hulk, Iron Fist surveys the destruction in disbelief. He exclaims, "My God." The Hulk's crushed Iron Man like a tin can. He's unstoppable. His frustration grows as he turns to Doctor Strange, hidden within the safety of an illusion cloaking the mansion. "Come on, Strange," he pleads. "We can't just hide here." Luke, Spider-Woman, and Spider-Man are out there fighting for their lives. The Hulk's going to kill them all. But Strange remains composed, though his words reveal the gravity of the situation. He reminds Danny of the Hulk's past. The Hulk was never a killer, but maybe that changed after his supposed friends, exiled him to an alien planet after his wife and a million others were blown up. Can you blame him for his rage? Luke Cage interjects, defending Strange. "This wasn't your doing, Doc." But Strange takes responsibility, revealing a harsh truth. "No, I wasn't involved in the destruction, but Danny's right. Black Bolt, Iron Man, Reed Richards, and I were the ones who shot the Hulk into space. Whatever he's become, we lit that spark, and now he's come for us, for me. Maybe he's right to do so." Iron Fist presses on, incredulous. "You're the Sorcerer Supreme, Strange. You have the power to end this. Why won't you act?" Strange responds with quiet resolve. "What do you expect me to do? Send him away again, only for him to return, angrier and more dangerous? No, Danny." Echo, her voice cutting through the room, proposes a grim solution. "Then kill him." Strange recoils at the thought. Number to kill him would damn my soul forever. But there is another way. He closes his eyes, his voice heavy with the weight of his decision. "Pray for me, children, for I have begun the incantations. I seek a hero, a being capable of defeating and redeeming the Hulk in the same moment. But this spell is fragile. It depends on the Hulk's willingness to let me in. And given how much he hates us, I don't know if it will work." The room falls silent. The stakes are clear, and Strange shoulders the burden of a dangerous gamble, one that could determine the fate of heroes and the city alike. The battle rages on, chaos erupting in the heart of New York City. The Hulk, fueled by unrelenting fury, roars, "Grrrah!" His sheer power has already brought Iron Man to his knees, and the Avengers look on, their determination wavering but not broken. One Avenger speaks, rallying the team. If we're gonna do this, let's do it. He's just one guy after a... But before the sentence is finished, a voice interrupts, strong and commanding. One of the Hulk's Warbound steps forward, introducing their fearsome team. "We are the Warbound of Sakaar," he announces, each name carrying weight and history. Hiroim the Shamed, Korg the Cronin, Elo Kaifi, Mick the Unhived, No Name of the Brood. "And we stand with the Hulk." Hiroim takes the lead, his voice reverberating with loyalty and defiance. "He is our king, a hero, the Sakarsan-made flesh who saved our planet from destruction. While you stand with Iron Man, Richards, and Strange, murderers, child killers, world breakers." The accusation hangs heavy in the air, but Hiroim doesn't stop. He offers a grim ultimatum. "We'll give you one chance, human. Speak your true name and be bound to us forever. Stand with the Hulk or fall like the others." The Avengers hesitate, but not Spider-Man, who quips through the tension. "Serve the Green King, and he'll serve." Before he can finish, Ms. Marvel cuts him off, her voice sharp and resolute. "To hell with that." Ares, the god of war, seizes the moment, shouting with fervor, "Avengers, attack!" As the clash intensifies, a voice cuts through the chaos. She-Hulk steps forward, her presence commanding attention. "Wait, Ares," she says firmly. Ares, always brash, doesn't back down. "Want to lose that hand, woman?" he snarls. Ms. Marvel, caught off guard, questions her. "She-Hulk, what are you doing?" Len Sampson adds fuel to the tension, voicing suspicion. "Careful, Ms. Marvel. Iron Man might have given her powers back, but we still don't know whose side she's really on." She-Hulk turns to Sampson, her words sharp with frustration. "That's your problem in a nutshell, Sampson. You think there have to be sides. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to talk." Sampson, unimpressed, reminds her of past failures. "You tried this trick the last time, Jen, and the Hulk nearly killed you during his rampage in Jericho. But She-Hulk won't be swayed." Her voice carries both pain and resolve as she fires back. "Because you had the bright idea of separating Bruce Banner from the Hulk, Len." Then she turns her focus to the towering figure of the Hulk. With a mix of hope and determination, she calls out to him. "If my cousin is in there, he'll listen to me." Her tone softens, almost pleading. "Some mess, huh, Bruce? Let me help." It's a gamble, a desperate attempt to reach the man buried beneath the monster. The battlefield holds its breath, waiting to see if the She-Hulk's words can pierce through the Hulk's rage. The tension escalates as Meek, one of the Warbound, confronts She-Hulk with unrelenting anger, his words cut deep. "Can you bring back the hivelings who died in Crown City? Can you bring back the mother of Elo Kaifi, the elders of Hiroim the Shamed, Kyera the Old Strong, the Hulk's bride and queen?" She-Hulk, unwavering, dismisses him. "I'm not talking to you, Bug," she says curtly, her focus solely on her cousin. The Hulk, towering and furious, looks down at her. His voice is cold, final. "Walk away, now." But She-Hulk doesn't flinch. She speaks with resolve, trying to reach Bruce Banner within the monster. "Bruce, if Tony and the others were involved in this, we'll put them on trial. You know me. I'll stand by you to the end. But we have to do this the right way, and..." She hesitates, her voice faltering. "Now, I can't." The Hulk's reply is blunt, cutting through her words like a blade. "Then stop talking and start fighting," Ms. Marvel shouts, her voice filled with urgency. "Jen." She-Hulk turns back briefly, trying to hold the line. "Just wait. If we don't throw the first..." Her words trail off as the tension reaches its breaking point, the fragile hope of reason slipping away in the face of the Hulk's overwhelming rage. The battle teeters on the edge of no return. The Hulk's rage boils over, and with an earth-shaking roar, he lunges at She-Hulk. "Grah!" he shouts, his fury unstoppable. She-Hulk braces herself, but even she can't mask her frustration. "Damn it, Bruce," she yells, engaging him in a fierce one-on-one battle. The Avengers, watching the confrontation unfold, realize they can no longer stand idle. With a commanding cry, they charge into the fray. Avengers, attack! The battlefield becomes a storm of chaos and fury as heroes and warbound clash. Amidst the chaos, the Hulk delivers a devastating punch, slamming She-Hulk into the ground with unrelenting force. In agony, She-Hulk can only whisper a desperate plea. "God, help us," she says, her strength fading against the unstoppable might of the Hulk. The scene is a harrowing display of power, determination, and the devastating consequences of a conflict spiraling beyond control. As She-Hulk lay battered on the ground, Ares, the god of war, charged toward the Hulk, his voice a booming challenge. "Ah! Trying to run, monster?" The Hulk stood his ground, unyielding. As Ares closed in, the Hulk countered with a devastating punch, sending Ares crashing to the ground. His voice thundered with defiance. "No, never!" The battlefield erupted into chaos as the Avengers and the Hulk's warbound collided in an all-out war. Each side fought with unrelenting ferocity, Earth's mightiest heroes against the unstoppable rage of the Hulk and his loyal companions. The clash of titans shook the ground, the stakes growing higher with every blow. It was a battle for survival, redemption, and vengeance, one that would leave scars on all who dared to stand in its path. The battle rages on with no mercy. The Hulk and Heroim team up against Len, their combined attack hitting like a thunderous explosion. Boom! The ground trembles under the force of their strike. Meanwhile, Elo charges at Spider-Man, her movement swift and relentless. Across the battlefield, Meek takes on Ms. Marvel, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts. Pew! Pew! Ms. Marvel, caught in the crossfire, grits her teeth in frustration as she's brought to her knees. Her voice carries a bitter realization. This is stupid. We're playing their game. The Hulk's stronger than he's ever been, and each one of his buddies is almost as strong as he used to be. We can't beat them trading head-on punches like this. A flicker of hope appears in her voice as she clings to a desperate strategy. Maybe we can't beat them, period. But if we can buy some time, maybe Reed Richards can. Her words underline the dire situation. The Avengers are outmatched, and their only chance lies in buying precious time for a greater plan to unfold. Amidst the chaos, the scene shifts to Mr. Fantastic, Storm, and T'Challa working frantically in a high-tech lab. Reed Richards issues a sharp command. "All right, Storm, that's enough. Now everybody clear out." Johnny, confused by the urgency, questions him. "Clear out." T'Challa, focused on the task, points out the unfinished work. "We're not done yet, Reed. There are 3 more layers of circuitry too." But Reed interrupts, his voice firm and resolute. "I'll finish it, T'Challa. Now go, before it's too late." He pauses for a moment, his tone softening as he addresses T'Challa. "You didn't have anything to do with the Hulk's exile. This isn't your fight." The gravity of the situation hangs in the air as Reed prepares to take on the burden alone, knowing the stakes couldn't be higher. In the lab, T'Challa, Storm, and the Fantastic Four watch in horror as the screen displays the Hulk mercilessly smashing the Avengers. T'Challa's voice carries a grim weight. "Unfortunately, you made it our fight. You and your friends made it the whole world's fight." Storm chimes in, her words resolute. "And now that the Hulk smashed the Avengers, you'll need every one of us if we're to have any hope of stopping him." Reed begins to respond, his voice heavy with doubt. "But," Sue Storm cuts him off sharply. "Shut up, Reed." Reed's frustration spills over. "This is insane, Sue. His power is off the charts. There's literally no way you can stop him. Now get out of here before..." Sue interrupts again, her voice unwavering. "And let him kill you before I have the chance to give you a piece of my mind." Reed looks at her, the tension giving way to a quiet, heartfelt acknowledgement. "Oh, Sue." Suddenly, Firestorm's alarmed voice breaks through. "Reed, he's here!" All eyes turn to see the Hulk leaping toward them, a force of destruction. But before he can strike, Storm takes decisive action. Not quite, she declares, unleashing a powerful attack against the approaching Hulk. The air erupts with a thunderous wakum as the battle begins anew, the team standing together against the unstoppable rage of the Green Giant. As the battle rages on, Korg steps forward, his booming voice addressing the defenders. "We just want Richards, Earthman." Grim stands firm, his resolve unshaken. "Come on, Rocky. Gonna have to go through us to get him." Elo smirks, her tone dripping with confidence. "Sounds like fun." Hiroam joins in, his words heavy with certainty. "Give up, human. You know you can't stop us." But T'Challa, ever composed, retorts sharply. "Clearly, you haven't met my wife." The scene shifts dramatically as Storm launches a powerful attack, striking the Hulk and sending him crashing down from the building. Her voice carries authority as she calls out, "All clear, Johnny." Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, seizes the moment, grinning as he quips, "Hands up, sports fans." The stage is set for the next clash as the heroes rally together, showcasing their unyielding spirit against the unstoppable force of the Hulk and his Warbound. Storm, seizing the opportunity, summons the power of the storm, calling down a crackling bolt of lightning toward the Hulk. With a fierce look in her eyes, she declares, "I think I hear thunder." The sky rumbles as the lightning strikes with devastating force. At the same time, Johnny Storm, ever the fiery force, unleashes his own assault. "Boom, boom, boom," he exclaims, as flames explode around the Hulk, a barrage of fire aimed at the Green Giant. The combined attacks from Storm and Johnny ignite the battlefield, creating an intense storm of lightning and fire, pushing the Hulk to his limits as the battle rages on. The battle between the Hulk and the combined might of Storm and Johnny intensifies. Storm, wielding the power of the storm, unleashes her fury with thunder and lightning, but the Hulk absorbs every strike with his massive form. Johnny, flames roaring around him, pushes his fiery attacks to their maximum, engulfing the Hulk in blazing infernos. But despite the overwhelming assault, the Hulk remains unfazed, his rage only growing. With a deafening roar, the Hulk retaliates, launching a brutal counterattack. One by one, he takes down both Storm and Johnny. The powerful winds of the storm are no match for his strength, and the flames of Johnny's fire are extinguished by his overwhelming might. In an instant, the two heroes are left down, struggling to recover, as the Hulk stands victorious over their fallen forms. The battle is far from over, but for now, the Hulk reigns supreme. As Korg looks on at the devastation caused by Hulk's overwhelming force, he turns to Grim, calling out, "Earthman, wait, you've already lost." But Grim isn't backing down. With a determined glare, he leaps from the building, charging straight toward the Hulk. "People have been telling me that all my life, fella," Grim retorts. But Mrs. Grimm's blue-eyed boy never walks away when it's clobberin' time. With a mighty punch, Grim slams his fist into the Hulk's face, blood splattering from the impact. The force of the blow shakes the ground, but the Hulk merely grins, unfazed by the assault. "All right then," Grim mutters, ready for whatever comes next. Grim stands tall, unyielding in the face of the Hulk's rage, showing that even when the odds seem impossible, he'll never back down from a fight. The intense battle rages on between Grim and the Hulk. As the two titans clash, Hiroim watches closely, his voice echoing the somber words, "May he who dies." But before he can finish, the Hulk lands a crushing blow, slamming Grim to the ground with terrifying force. The impact is overwhelming, and Hulk's voice rumbles, "Die well." Grim, once standing tall and defiant, now lies defeated, a testament to the sheer power of the Hulk. The battle has taken a brutal turn, showing just how unstoppable the Hulk is in his quest for vengeance. Amidst the chaos and destruction, a sudden powerful shadow cuts through the madness. A voice echoes, "Hello, Hulk." "That's right, old friend. I've come to help you." The Hulk, momentarily stunned, recognizes the figure. "Sense and Sentry, Golden Man," he mutters, the weight of the words heavy on his heart. Korg, confused and frustrated, shouts, "Hulk? What are you talking about?" But Grim, understanding the situation, speaks up. "Forget it. He ain't gonna listen to you now. I never much liked the guy, but one thing about the Sentry, he could always calm the Hulk down. They're friends, real friends, not this stupid war-bound thing you guys keep talking about." As the golden figure steps forward, the light grows brighter, and the Sentry declares, "It's over." Hulk, his rage now quelled by the presence of his old ally, responds quietly, "Yes, it is." The confrontation reaches its turning point. The tension in the air shifts as the Hulk's fury begins to fade, replaced by something different. Hope, calm. Whatever it is, the presence of the Sentry signals a change in the battle's tide. Suddenly, with a thunderous crash, the Hulk attacks the light figure with a powerful boom. But to his shock, the golden figure is revealed to be none other than Reed Richards, disguised as the Sentry. The Hulk's fury ignites even more as he relentlessly continues his assault on Reed. Sue Storm, witnessing the violent attack, shouts desperately, "Stop, Bruce! You know Reed didn't." The Hulk, consumed by his rage, roars back, "If I set a bomb, killed your husband, killed your children, your whole world, would you ever stop?" Sue, heartbroken and trying to reach the man she knows beneath the rage, responds softly, You don't have to do this. I know you, Bruce. You're not a..." Her words hang in the air, filled with a painful understanding that the man she once knew is lost, consumed by anger, and unable to stop. The battle between Hulk and Sue Storm intensifies, with explosive force echoing through the air. Bram! Bram! The sounds of Hulk's mighty blows resonate as he swings, determined to crush everything in his path. Reed, using his incredible powers, counters with a swift thwip, thwip as he summons her force fields, desperately trying to defend herself against the Hulk's fury. The clash is intense as the two powerful forces collide, each struggling to maintain control in a battle that's far beyond what either of them could have ever imagined. The battle reaches a devastating peak as Hulk unleashes his raw power. With a mighty force, he crushes both Sue Storm and Reed Richards, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Hulk's fury knows no bounds. His overwhelming strength leaves nothing standing in his wake, as both of the Fantastic Four members are incapacitated under his wrath. In this moment, the Hulk proves that no matter the opponent, nothing can stop him. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, none of them stand a chance against the Green Behemoth's unstoppable rage. Sue Storm reaches out in desperation, calling to Sentry, "Bob, it's Sue. We failed. We tried to do it for you. Reed synthesized your energies and tried to calm the Hulk down, but it didn't work. We need you now, the real you, the hero, the friend." As the battle rages on, Sue's plea echoes through the chaos, hoping for a response from Sentry, the one figure who might still have the power to help save the day. As the chaos continues, a supporter of Hulk speaks up, explaining their reason for staying in the midst of the destruction. "This whole town's supposed to be evacuated. Why did you stay?" "'Cause that son of a so-and-so Iron Man thinks he's better than everyone. And I wanted to see what happened when he got it. Because Doctor Strange dances with the devil, and only the Hulk can sweep his contagion from God's green earth. I love a parade." The supporters' words reveal a defiant attitude, showing that some believe Hulk's destructive path is not only justified, but necessary in the battle against those who have crossed a line. Amid the chaos, Rick Jones, desperate to reach the Hulk, rushes forward, calling out, This is insane. I need to meet him. He makes his way to the Hulk, shouting, "Hey Hulk, remember me?" However, Meek, one of the Hulk's warbound, quickly interrupts, revealing their knowledge of Rick. "Rick Jones, we know who you are. Saw you in our robot's files. Who sent you? No one, a liar. You call yourself the Hulk's friend. But you left him to remember, to help the puny humans who sent you. Captain America." Meek's words cut deep as they accuse Rick of abandoning Hulk in the past, a betrayal that still lingers in the tense atmosphere surrounding the battle. Rick Jones, standing before the Hulk, speaks with a heavy heart. "A lot's happened since you've been away. Tony and Reed, they kind of screwed things up. I wish you'd been here before. You may go nuts, but 9 times out of 10, you seem to hit whoever needs hitting, and those guys sure needed it. But not like this, Hulk. Not like this." There, his voice falters, understanding the severity of the chaos surrounding them. Rick, once hopeful, now fears the consequences of the Hulk's fury, knowing that the situation has spiraled far beyond anyone's control. Suddenly, Doctor Strange seizes control of the Hulk's mind, attempting to calm the raging beast. But the Hulk, furious and desperate, shouts, "Get out of my head!" In an explosive burst of power, the Hulk leaps away, breaking free from Strange's mental grasp. The battle rages on as the Hulk continues his path of destruction, unstoppable and filled with raw anger. Doctor Strange, struggling to maintain control, grits his teeth and mutters, "NNGH." For this enchantment to work, he must open the door, but he's so angry. And everything he sees just makes him angrier. The spell struggles to take hold as the Hulk's fury grows, making it nearly impossible for Strange to reach him. The tension rises, with every moment pushing the limits of both magic and might. General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross steps forward, taking charge of the mission. With determination in his voice, he declares, "Those costumed clowns have had their chance." It's clear that Ross is ready to take matters into his own hands, confident that the Hulk's rampage requires a different kind of intervention. The stakes are rising, and Ross's leadership could be the key to turning the tide in this battle. A confidential letter arrives from the White House, addressed directly to General Thaddeus Ross. The message is clear and urgent. It reads, "General Ross, I'll make this quick. In response to the imminent threat posed by the Hulk and his alien soldiers, I hereby exercise the power given to this office in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States. I am co-signing all control of this country's military forces to you, to be used against this immediate threat to national security." The letter concludes with a simple yet powerful statement. "Give him hell, General." With this directive, General Ross is now given full authority to take whatever action necessary to confront the Hulk's devastating rampage. In the heart of New York City, General Ross receives troubling news from his soldiers. "That's it, General Ross. The Hulk's taken out the Avengers and the Fantastic Four," the soldier reports. Ross, unfazed by the devastation, responds with a cold determination. "All right, it's our game now. Move 'em in." But the soldier has more to report. "Yes, sir. There's something else, sir. We're getting reports about civilians. At least 100 have snuck into the city. They seem to think the Hulk is some kind of hero." General Ross, with a hint of frustration, shakes his head. "They never learn, do they? Happens every few years," he says, reflecting on the past. "I remember the last time. One day the Hulk saves the Earth from flying saucers, so the president pardons him." It's clear that Ross is no stranger to the chaos that follows in the Hulk's wake, and now he's ready to take control of the situation. The scene shifts to a moment from the past, where a towering statue of the Hulk stands, crafted from 10 tons of pure adamantium. General Ross reflects on the irony of the situation. his voice filled with bitterness. "They made a statue of him from 10 tons of pure adamantium," he says, "and the whole world calls him a hero. And then, a few months later, he's a monster again." The image of the statue lingers, a symbol of the conflicting views of the Hulk. Ross continues. He tears through New York, does $1 billion of property damage, before Doctor Strange disappears his big green behind a magic veil. Ross's words underline the cyclical nature of the Hulk's existence. Revered as a hero one moment, feared as a destructive force the next. The world's perception of him is ever-changing, but one thing is certain: his power is a force that cannot be ignored. General Ross's tone is filled with frustration and anger as he recalls the past. Standing in the present, he reflects on the years of excuses made for the Hulk. People made excuses for him. Hell, I made excuses, Ross admits bitterly. He was Bruce Banner, the most brilliant scientist I ever knew, and my daughter loved him. If the Hulk did something insane, it was never Banner's fault. We were always saying, Apocalypse possessed him, or Doc Samson separated the Hulk and Banner, or all he wants is to be left alone, so we'd forgive him. Ross pauses, the weight of his words sinking in. The loss of his daughter is a raw wound. "And what did years and years of that lead to?" he asks. "My daughter is dead, and now the Hulk's come back from a vacation in space with an army of aliens, demanding the evacuation of Manhattan and threatening to kill the planet's biggest superheroes." His voice grows colder, filled with contempt for the past. "The same costume clowns who built that stupid statue for him. So you're telling me those fools down there still say he's a hero? Fine. Tell them we're sending their pal a brand new 10-ton adamantium tribute, and I hope he chokes on it." General Ross's anger is palpable. The hero the world once celebrated is now a threat, and Ross, consumed by loss and bitterness, is ready to take drastic action. The Hulk may have been forgiven in the past, but now there are no more excuses. The tension escalates as a helicopter opens fire on the Hulk. The sound of gunfire echoes through the air. Boom, boom, boom. The intense barrage rains down on the Hulk, each shot seeming to do little to deter him. But the soldiers in the helicopter aren't stopping. They escalate the attack, launching a missile directly at him. The missile hits its target, and the Hulk is thrown back, letting out an enraged "Ah!" The impact is immense, the blast rocking him with force. But the Hulk doesn't fall. Despite the damage, his fury only grows stronger. The battle is far from over, and it's clear that no matter what is thrown at him, the Hulk will continue his rampage. As the scene shifts to a block away from the Hulk's raging battle, the atmosphere is thick with tension. A soldier urgently tells a man, "Step back, mister." But the man, unshaken, responds, "Look, I'm Rick Jones. I've spent more time with the Hulk than anyone. Bombs can't stop him. You're just gonna make him madder." The soldier dismisses Rick's warning, his voice cold and resolute. He can get as mad as he wants. It's not gonna do him much good. After those adamantium shards rip every inch of flesh from his bones. "Charlie, 3 to all units in the second perimeter. Bring on the rain." The soldier opens fire, and the air crackles with energy as the weapon releases a deadly blast. "Wakum!" The Hulk roars in response, the pain and rage surging through him. "There! Grah!" The Hulk's fury grows, but it's clear he's not backing down. Despite the relentless attack, he stands, a force of nature, only more determined and angrier than ever. Inside Doctor Strange's mansion, the tension is palpable. Iron Fist, his brow furrowed with concern, turns to Doctor Strange and asks, "What is it, Doctor Strange?" Doctor Strange's expression is grave as he responds, "To stop him without killing him. My spell depended upon the Hulk letting me in, Iron Fist. But Ross's attack has forced the door." In the distance, the Hulk's furious roar echoes. Grah! The sound reverberates like a storm building, signaling that the situation is quickly spiraling out of control. Doctor Strange knows the battle is no longer just about containing the Hulk. It's a race against time to stop the Fury before it consumes everything. Doctor Strange's spell finally takes hold, and with a deep breath, he exclaims, "I'm with him now," inside his head. For a moment, it seems as though the Hulk's fury might be subdued. But then, the Hulk lets out a deafening roar. Grah! His anger erupts once again, stronger than ever. In an instant, the Hulk launches himself at the helicopter, tearing through the air with explosive force. The situation is still far from under control, as the Hulk's rage knows no bounds. Even Doctor Strange's intervention can only do so much against the overwhelming power of the Hulk's fury. Doctor Strange uses his magic to reach into the Hulk's mind, his voice echoing inside Bruce Banner's head. "Come on, Bruce, we have to talk." But the Hulk isn't listening. His response is full of defiance and anger. "No!" The tension continues to rise as the Hulk fights against any attempt to calm him down. Then, General Ross, watching the scene unfold, says with a mix of disbelief and urgency, He's stopped fighting. He's going down." The helicopter that the Hulk had attacked finally begins to plummet to the ground, crashing with a massive explosion. Scroom! The shockwave rattles the air as the Hulk's fury continues to wreak havoc. Doctor Strange's spell takes the Hulk into a strange, empty space. Inside Hulk's mind, there's nothing but silence until the Hulk shouts, Where'd you take me, Strange?" Doctor Strange calmly responds, "The question is, where have you taken me? This is the inside of your mind, your dreams, your rules. What do you want to show me, Bruce?" But the Hulk, enraged, snaps back, "Grah! Don't call me that!" The Hulk is consumed by anger as Doctor Strange's magic surges through his mind. But all the Hulk can do is lash out. He punches the air, hitting nothing, just chaos surrounding him. Meanwhile, a soldier in a helicopter watches the madness unfold and speaks over the radio. "He's losing it, sir, just punching at the air." The Hulk's inner turmoil becomes more apparent as he tries to regain control, his rage filling every corner of his mind. General Ross, seeing no hesitation, orders his forces to attack again. "Let him have it," he commands. The guns open fire. Choom, 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 pew, pew, brack, brack, crack. The Hulk is pummeled with bullets, but he feels nothing. His fury, however, is unstoppable. In his mind, the Hulk growls at Doctor Strange, "Get out of my head, or I'll tear you in half." But Doctor Strange stands firm, unshaken by the Hulk's rage. He responds, "Hear me well, Bruce. Your anger means nothing to me. I am the Sorcerer Supreme. I could snuff the feeble flame of your mortal life with the merest twitch of a finger. But I am also your friend. Let me help you, Bruce." Hulk, slowly and reluctantly, begins to change. His monstrous form starts to shrink, and the rage that controlled him begins to subside. As his green skin fades, he returns to his human form. "Show me your true face. That's what she said," Hulk murmurs, a shift in his voice, a moment of vulnerability breaking through the fury. In the depths of Hulk's mind, Doctor Strange urges him to share. "Tell me," he says gently. The Hulk, his voice filled with sorrow, responds, "Her name was Kyera, and I hear her voice all the time." This is a moment of vulnerability for the Hulk. Beneath the rage, beneath the monster, lies the memory of someone he loved, someone who still echoes in his heart. The past, full of pain and loss, lingers in his mind, a reminder of the woman he once held dear. As Doctor Strange's spell intensifies, the Hulk's mind is transported back to a hauntingly beautiful memory. He sees Kyera, his queen, standing before him. Her voice is soft, comforting as she speaks. "This is where you belong, with your people. with your queen and your child. A wave of sorrow crashes over the Hulk as he calls out her name. Kyera, she responds gently. Husband. But just as the moment seems to hold the possibility of healing, a harsh alarm interrupts their peace. Beep, 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 beep. The warning blares, a countdown of impending disaster. Then the world shakes as the bomb explodes. Boom! The memory fades, and with it, the bittersweet moment with Kyera is lost to the chaos, a reminder of the destruction that follows the Hulk wherever he goes. Inside the Hulk's mind, after the explosion, Dr. Strange speaks with a heavy heart. Bruce, I agreed with Tony and Reed and Black Bolt that you were too dangerous for this planet. And I let them trick you into that shuttle and shoot you into space. But you have to know, we had nothing to do with that explosion or the death of... But the Hulk interrupts, his voice cold. Go away. Dr. Strange doesn't give up, continuing earnestly. Bruce, how long have we known each other? How many battles have we fought side by side? Look at me and tell me I'm lying. The Hulk's response is full of sadness as he murmurs, Stephen. Dr. Strange reaches out with sincerity. I have always been your friend, Bruce, and always will be. Now perhaps we should get back to the real world before General Ross completely destroys your body. Easy, Bruce, I've got you. But suddenly, Bruce transforms back into the Hulk, his anger surging once more as he roars, yeah, and I've got you. Dr. Strange, now realizing the gravity of the situation, responds with a shocked face. Oh no, dear. The emotional tug-of-war between Bruce and the Hulk reaches a breaking point as the battle for control intensifies. In the midst of the chaos, the Hulk grabs both of Dr. Strange's hands, which were aimed to attack him. With a violent twist, the Hulk crushes his hands, the sound of bones breaking echoing through the air. Crack! Dr. Strange lets out a painful scream. Bruce, I was trying to help. But the Hulk's response is cold and final. You've helped enough. Meanwhile, General Ross, seeing the situation escalate, gives a cold order. Finish him, soldier. The soldier responds with urgency. Almost there, General. Soon as we get through the shields of his alien buddies. The soldier opens fire again and again, the sound of bullets and explosions filling the air. Bud, 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 boom. On the other side, Hulk's allies shout out to him with growing concern. Hulk, come on now. Korg reassures them. Don't worry, Korg, he's back. As the Hulk's fury continues to grow, the battle intensifies, with no sign of stopping. The Hulk, enraged and unstoppable, leaps into the air, his massive form crashing down with the force of a battering ram. Chom, crank, drum. He slams his fist into a tank, the impact sending shockwaves through the air. Badoom! Crook! With incredible strength, the Hulk lifts the tank above his head and hurls it toward a nearby helicopter. The tank collides with the helicopter, sending it tumbling through the sky. Kachoom! In a desperate attempt to escape, the helicopter pilots eject, parachuting to safety as the Hulk's fury continues. But the soldiers on the ground are relentless. They open fire. Pew pew, bud, 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 shooting at the Hulk. But their bullets do little more than anger him further. In response, the Hulk unleashes his signature clap, sending a shockwave powerful enough to knock everything around him off balance. Fwap! The battlefield trembles under his rage as the Hulk demonstrates just how unstoppable he truly is. The Hulk's devastating clap sends shockwaves through the battlefield, knocking out all in its path. General Ross, filled with rage, shouts out, Hulk, why won't you die already? With the fury of a beast, the Hulk leaps toward Ross, roaring, That's your job! As the Hulk charges, Ross opens fire with his machine gun, yelling, Not ding-dong likely, you crazy! The bullets pierce the Hulk's flesh, but they barely faze him as he lands on Ross. In a desperate attempt to defend himself, Ross punches the Hulk and pulls the trigger, shooting the Hulk directly in the eye as they both fall to the ground. As they crash to the earth, Ross, struggling but defiant, sneers, "Monster, that's right, smash all you want. But we'll just keep coming and coming until someday we finally kill you." A soldier nearby watches the brutal confrontation unfold and with a mix of fear and anticipation, radios in, "Let's hear it, Commander Hill." As the chaos of the battle rages on, the scene shifts to the White House in Washington, D.C. Commander Hill, speaking with urgency, informs the president that General Ross is down and there's only one option left. The president, grim-faced, asks, "Nukes?" Hill quickly counters, "No, sir. Every scientist on the payroll says that would only make the Hulk stronger. It's time to appeal to a higher power." She continues, "Please remember, sir, we need you to stay on script. The Sentry's the most powerful superhero on the planet, but he's also an agoraphobic schizophrenic. He's scared of the world, terrified of himself. He needs reassurance every step of the way that what we're asking him to do is the right thing." With that, the president takes the phone and calls the Sentry. "Mr. Reynolds, this is your president speaking, and I've got a job for you. The heroes need your help. They're your friends, and they believe in you, just like I do. Time to shine, son." A brief pause, then the president's voice grows frustrated. "You still there, Bob? Listen up now. These eggheads tell me you're nuts." "All right, Reynolds, this is ridiculous." Sentry responds nervously, "Sir." "Mr. President, please just a moment, sir. The consultants are preparing some more script for you." The president, growing more impatient, snaps back, "What's going on? But they also tell me you're a hero. So it's time to shake the schizo act and do what needs to be done. Now, let's go." In the heart of Madison Square Garden, General Ross finds himself arrested by Hulk's allies. He looks around, confused, and asks, "What the hell's that noise?" One of Hulk's supporters calmly responds, "Trust me, human, you don't want to know." Hulk, with a stern voice, says simply, "It'll do." Korg, reflecting on the past, adds, "Not quite as big as the Red King's great arena. They destroyed our world. They deserve everything that's coming to them. But still, we could make an end right here. Their whole planet knows what they did to us. They're the monsters now. If we walked away today..." Suddenly, Hulk punches the wall with immense force, shouting, "Yeah!" His human supporters, rallying behind him, cheer with excitement. "We're ready. Hulk, woohoo, Hulk, Hulk, yay, go Hulk, hooray, woohoo, bring on the show." Hulk, hearing their cheers, turns to Korg and says with conviction, "Listen to them, Korg. They get it. Never stop making them pay." A mile away in Greenwich Village, Rick Jones is desperately trying to reach someone on the phone. Doc Strange, it's me, Rick Jones, are you..." Suddenly, a voice interrupts him. "Dirty little liar." Rick, caught off guard, responds with surprise, "Whoa, Ello. Nice to see you again so soon." Ello, with a sharp tone, accuses, "Yesterday you said you're the Hulk's friend, and now you're trying to warn the magician?" Rick, trying to deflect, casually replies, "What magician? This is a coffee shop. You know, coffee. You have it in the morning with donuts and..." Ello, unimpressed, asks, "Hiroim, do you understand a word this human is saying?" Hiroim, not missing a beat, responds, "These enchantments are strong, but no illusion can hold before the strength of the Shadow Elders." Just then, a voice from inside the mansion cuts in, "Sorry to bust your bubble." Iron Fist and his ally, Hiroim, face off in a tense confrontation. Iron Fist confidently declares, "But this is no illusion. I'll take the giant, Ronan. You and Echo get the girl." Ronan responds with a grin, "Man, you get all the fun." Hiroim warns with a menacing tone, "I warn you, human. You cannot match the Stone Force old power of the Shadow." Without hesitation, Hiroim and Iron Fist clash fiercely. Krazak, crack, crack, crove, womb. Their battle shakes the air as each fighter unleashes their strength. Meanwhile, Ronan and Echo take on the girl, with Ronan taunting, "Bet you never heard Baldy McPonytail scream, did ya? Give it up, kid." The tension builds as the battle rages on. Ronan strikes with his katana. Kersh! But the girl quickly defends with her hand, breaking the sword with a snap. Jack, she taunts. Let me think about that. No. Snap, snap. Her defiance is clear as she easily shatters Ronan's weapon. Meanwhile, the battle between Hiroim and Iron Fist intensifies. Hiroim, with a deep, powerful voice, introduces himself. "I am Hiroim the Old Strong. Tell me your name, human." Iron Fist responds with unwavering confidence. "I am Iron Fist." Hiroim, sensing the strength of his opponent, solemnly states, "I will pray for you, Iron Fist. Now, may he who dies." The tension builds as the fight reaches its peak. Hiroim delivers a powerful punch to Iron Fist, declaring, "Die well, human. I know you've been yourself, but your new spells are flawed. You can't sustain them for long. Show yourself and make an end." Hiroim's words are cold and calculating as he prepares for what he believes is the inevitable. Elo steps forward and interrupts. "You wait here for him, Hiroim. I'll take these humans back to the arena." Rick, desperate and confused, calls out, "Wait, Elo, there's another way. You don't have to do this." But it's too late. Iron Fist, Ronan, and Echo are all taken away by Elo, bound for the arena. Rick, still in shock, asks, "What the hell did you do to them?" Hiroim responds with a chilling answer. "They've been implanted with obedience discs in the gladiatorial training schools of Sakaar." The weight of Hiroim's words hangs heavy as the dark truth of their captivity becomes clear. Rick, in disbelief, pleads with Hiroim. "Hiroim, you said you were a priest. You know this is wrong." Hiroim, with a heavy heart, admits, "Of course it is, Rick Jones. And someday, we Warbound will pay for the rage in our hearts." But his resolve hardens as he adds, "But first, we'll make you pay." The scene shifts to Dr. Strange and Wong. Wong, visibly concerned, urges, "Doctor, you have to let me look at your hands." But Dr. Strange, in no mood to delay, responds, "There's no time, Wong. I can hear the Shadow Priest. He's burning through the spells that hide us, and with these broken hands, I can't do a thing to stop him." He turns to Bruce, his voice filled with sorrow. "Bruce, you're really going to kill them all, aren't you? You didn't see him, Wong. You didn't feel his rage. It's beyond anything I ever..." Strange takes a deep breath and continues, "Wong, the time has come. Bring it to me." Wong, still hesitant, protests, "No, Doctor, you can't." But Dr. Strange's voice becomes urgent and forceful. "I can and must. Now bring me the box." The tension is palpable as the weight of Strange's decision settles in. Hiroim, with a powerful strike, shatters the spell, causing the air to crackle with energy. "Scar!" he roars, breaking through the barrier. Wong, in a panic, warns Dr. Strange, "Doctor, the walls." But Strange, remaining calm in the face of the impending threat, responds, "The Shadow Priest comes, so you must go, as fast and far as you can." Wong refuses, standing firm in his loyalty. "No, I won't." Dr. Strange, knowing what is at stake, looks at him with a somber expression and replies, "You know what I'm about to do, Wong. If you stay, the Shadow Priest will be the least of your worries." With a grave determination, Dr. Strange invokes an ancient and dangerous spell. "In the name of the Eternal by Rings of Ragdor, though his spirit be infernal, Zom must live once more, and may he who dies, die well." Just as the spell reaches its climax, Hiroim breaks through the hidden sanctuary with a powerful skash. The battle is now escalating to a new level of intensity. Rick arrives at the arena, desperately calling out to Bruce, "Bruce, for God's sake." Elo silences him. "Shut up, human. You tried to warn the Green Scar's enemies. Now you'll get what you deserve." Rick responds, "Come on, Bruce. Gladiator fights? This is insane." Suddenly, Meek, one of Hulk's allies, chimes in. "I'll tell you what's insane. Taking the greatest hero your planet ever saw and shooting him into space." Rick, trying to reason with him, replies, "You don't understand, Meek. He was out of control. They were his friends. They were trying to help him." But Meek, filled with anger, retorts, "Their shuttle exploded. Killed 1 million people. Killed his queen. Killed his child. You call that help?" Rick, frustrated, fires back, "You say you're his friend, but all you're doing is dragging him straight to hell." Meek's response is cold. "I'll show you hell." Rick, standing his ground, responds, "Fine, then you'll just prove you're a monster, not a hero. A hero wants justice, not revenge." Meek, filled with rage, snaps, "Stupid human. You still believe in justice. The Red King killed my father and brothers. The Spikes killed my species' last queen. Your heroes' bombs killed Crown City. Nothing will ever bring them back. You're trying to confuse things with your talking, but I understand now. They had to die, because those who killed them were built for destruction. We just do what we were made for. That's why I follow the Green Scar, because he is the world breaker." As tensions rise, Meek challenges Rick, "So come, little human. It's time to make an end to..." But suddenly, Hero M crashes down from the sky. "Whoom!" interrupting Meek's threat. A new voice, powerful and commanding, follows. "Not just yet. First, it is Doctor Strange, wielding immense power, ready for battle, declaring with authority, 'Strange smash.' The stage is set for a showdown that will change everything." In New York City, chaos looms as a U.S. soldier, speaking from a helicopter, urges, "Little closer, Dave. With all due respect, Mr. President, I think we're close enough." The tension builds as the soldier adds, "The Hulk's a pretty good jumper, as I recall." But the president isn't concerned with the Hulk's jumping abilities. He reminds the soldier, "He's not after me, Dave. He's after the superheroes who shot him into space and allegedly blew up his wife and kid." The soldier, surveying the devastation below, reacts with shock. "Who, dog? Looks like a gold-armed war zone down there." But the soldier isn't done yet, adding grimly, "It's worse than that, sir. Our mystics are telling us..." The president interrupts, "Mystics?" The soldier confirms, 7 on the payroll, sir. And they say that to defeat the Hulk, Doctor Strange is channeling the powers of an extra-dimensional demon named Zom, which I guess officially makes Manhattan hell on Earth. As the situation escalates, Doctor Strange unleashes a powerful demon spell at Hiroim, shouting, "Grah!" Hiroim, however, quickly rises, defiantly saying, "Too far, Strange." The battle lines are drawn, and the stakes have never been higher. Doctor Strange, relentless in his attack, hurls another powerful demon spell, shouting, "Nah! Rah! Sklang!" Hiroim, refusing to back down, draws his weapon and retorts, "You're gone too far. You can barely talk, much less control the demon you've let in." He goes on, "On the planet Sakaar, we speak of the Sakaarson, who saves us, and the Worldbreaker, who destroys everything. In your arrogance, you dreamed of being your people's Sakaarson, but you'll end up destroying them instead." In response, Doctor Strange uses his demon magic as a weapon, stabbing at Hiroim with a powerful blow. With a grim expression, Strange states, "Not them, priest. Just you." Hiroim groans in pain. "Af! Af!" As the weapon digs into him, Elo shouts in desperation, "Hiroim!" as she watches her comrade suffer. In the heat of the battle, Korg and Elo leap forward to intervene, but they're unable to land a blow. They shout in unison, "Stop, Strange!" But Dr. Strange isn't finished. Hulk charges at him, enraged, but Dr. Strange punches him relentlessly, using his demon-infused magic to toss Hulk away with a vicious spell, shouting, "Stupid monster, Skrakum, Nya, Krakum." As the smoke clears, Strange declares, "I've just begun." The battle rages on with no end in sight. A crowd of Hulk supporters gathers outside the mansion, eager to witness the chaos they've been waiting for. "Let us through. This is what we came to see. The Green King tearing down their golden palaces. We want to see," they shout, but the police stand firm. "You'll stay right here where it's safe." Suddenly, with a massive crash, the Hulk falls from the sky, landing right in front of them with an earth-shattering "Wakum." The crowd erupts in excitement. "Hulk, Hulk, Green King, you're finally here." But Dr. Strange isn't far behind. He attacks once again, unleashing a massive spell with a powerful Shlorf. "Ah, Karak, Wakum." The blast sends Hulk crashing through a building, causing it to crumble. The onlookers panic, shouting, "Watch out, she's coming down. Oh God, please, I don't wanna." As the building collapses on top of the Hulk and the people nearby, a mighty roar echoes through the streets. Hulk, using his immense strength, lifts the debris off of them, saving everyone in his path. "Kirk, Krumble." Dr. Strange watches in disbelief, muttering, "Wait, no, the people. The little people." But the Hulk responds, "They're fine, no thanks to you." Dr. Strange, realizing the power he's dealing with, sighs in frustration. "I'm sorry. This much anger, this much power, hard to control." The Hulk, seething with rage, retorts, "Tell you what, I'll give you a lesson." Without warning, Hulk throws a devastating punch at Dr. Strange, the impact of which sends shockwaves through the air. Shwalum, blah, chum. Dr. Strange tries to defend himself, his demon spell swirling around him in an attempt to shield him from the attack, but the Hulk is relentless. The magical barrier falters as the Hulk's rage continues to build. The clash sends tremors throughout the city, with a powerful return strike from Strange. Kathram, Skrak, Krok, Shtkram. The battle between Hulk and Dr. Strange intensifies, with both sides pushing their limits. As the battle between Hulk and Dr. Strange rages on, a familiar voice cuts through the chaos. It's Rick, running towards the Hulk. "Rick," Hulk mutters, his voice tinged with surprise and weariness. Rick responds with his usual wit. "Yep. One friendly neighborhood sidekick at your service. Now what the heck's gotten into you, big guy? That was you saving a dozen people back there, right? What are you trying to do? Run your image? You're a force of nature, a world breaker, right? That hero stuff's for chumps, for the stupid puny humans like Bruce Banner. That sucker stuck his neck out from day one, knocked me in a ditch to save me from a gamma boom. Remember that?" Rick pauses, his voice turning more serious as realization sets in. "Don't know why you'd be acting like Banner unless... Oh yeah, you are Banner." Before Rick can finish, Hulk's rage boils over. In a sudden burst of fury, Hulk delivers a devastating punch to Dr. Strange's face, sending him flying across the ground with an earth-shattering "Baum." The Hulk's voice roars in the aftermath, cold and direct. "Banner is me." The truth of Hulk's inner turmoil echoes as he stands tall, reaffirming the bitter connection between him and the man he's long tried to separate himself from. In the arena, the tension is palpable as the voice echoes through the air. "Welcome to the great arena, you who followed the Hulk from Sakaar, you who came to celebrate his victories here on Earth. and you who dared to raise your fists against him. Now bear witness, Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Iron Man. These are the four whose shuttle exploded, destroying the crown city of Sakaar. Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, shouts in protest, "We didn't plant any bomb. We'd never..." His words are cut short by the brutal effects of an obedience disc, leaving him in pain as he gasps, "Burst! Ah!" From the crowd, Korg's voice booms, "Enough with the obedience discs already." But before anyone can respond, Sue Storm steps forward, defending her team. "Let Reed speak, Elo." Elo, unshaken, responds coldly, "Why, Sue Storm? They didn't let the Hulk speak before they shot him into space. They didn't let my mother speak before they incinerated her and a million others." In the midst of the chaos, Reed, battered and weakened, struggles to explain, "Listen, we didn't do that." But before he can finish, Meek, Hulk's ally, interrupts angrily, "No, you listen." The atmosphere is thick with accusations, pain, and the bitter memories of the past as the warbound confront their captors, each holding on to their truth in a world of misunderstandings and vengeance. In the midst of the chaos, the voices of the people rise in a powerful plea for justice and vengeance. One woman steps forward, her voice trembling but full of anger. "My name is Clorinda Roberts. I'm here to speak about Black Bolt. Last month, my husband retired, and for the first time in 20 years, I got him to go with me to the opera house. You probably saw what happened on television. Black Bolt's people came. They declared war on America, and they tore my husband's head off. I know what Black Bolt would say. It was a mistake. Those weren't his orders. I don't care. My husband is dead, and I want that man to pay." Her words hang heavy in the air as the crowd listens in silence, feeling the weight of her grief and pain. Then another man stands up, his voice firm with resentment. "My name's Tom Foster. My uncle was Bill Foster. You probably knew him as Goliath. He took the rebel side during the superhero Civil War because he knew better than to trust anyone who throws in with the government. Tony Stark and Reed Richards cloned Thor, cloned a god, and used him to kill my uncle. They talk about law, but their laws only seem to apply to people like you and me. I'm ready for the Hulk's law." His anger is clear, a call for retribution against the powerful forces that have destroyed his family. Lastly, a third man speaks, his voice dark and foreboding. "Doctor Strange dances with the devil. He drank the soul of a demon, nearly killed us all. The seas will run red. Vermin will fall from the skies. A two-headed child will be born. Let the judgment of God be upon you." The crowd stands still, a sense of fear and vengeance permeating the atmosphere as each individual recounts the losses they have suffered at the hands of those in power. This is a moment of reckoning as the oppressed demand justice, and the world of superheroes stands on the edge of chaos. Hulk stands, his voice heavy with the weight of his words. "Don't like it, do you? It's not fair. Not the whole story. You have excuses, explanations. You're innocent. These people don't know what really happened. They don't know what's in your heart. Now you know how it feels." With a sudden, fierce motion, he hurls his adversary toward a monstrous beast, slamming a door shut behind them. "Shunk! Hurla!" The echo of the door closing is almost final as the monster begins to approach. Hulk's gaze sharpens, his words cutting through the tense air. "And now, you're gonna find out how this feels." It's a moment of reckoning. A powerful and unyielding Hulk forces others to experience the crushing weight of injustice, the same way he has for so long. He shows them that pain, the feeling of being misunderstood and trapped in a story no one fully knows. Hulk is the embodiment of fury and frustration. He will make them see the world through his eyes, whether they like it or not. Hulk's voice booms with bitter reflection as he continues. "The day your shuttle dumped me on Sakaar, I was weakened, captured, enslaved. thrown into an arena against monsters like these. His words are laced with the pain of his past, his anger seeping through as he recalls the horrors he endured. Meanwhile, in the heat of battle, Reed Richards, fighting alongside the others, warns, "Watch out, Tony." But Tony Stark, struggling to summon his armor, replies, "Trying to summon my armor, but this obedience disc won't let me. Strange, use your magic." Doctor Strange, already injured, grimaces, "The Hulk crushed my hands. My spells won't." His voice is strained, a testament to the toll the battle has taken on him. Suddenly, the monstrous beast grabs Doctor Strange with a terrifying roar. Gah! The team's survival is slipping, but Tony Stark refuses to back down. With quick thinking, he grabs a saber and strikes at the monster's hand, shouting, "Hold on, Steven!" With a sharp shunk, Tony cuts through the creature's grip, freeing Strange. The monster lets out a furious roar, "Meow!" But it's too late. The battle is won as the team, now united in purpose, kills the beast, their survival and strength intact for another round. In this brutal struggle, Hulk's past has come full circle, and he's made them feel the weight of what he suffered. The monster may have fallen, but the real fight, Hulk's inner battle, continues. As the monster falls, defeated, Hulk looks down at the group and growls, "Well done." His voice, though full of praise, carries a dark weight, reflecting the brutality of what he's endured. He continues, his tone turning more somber as he recounts his painful past. "On my second day on Sakaar, they took me to the Maw, a gladiatorial training school. They threw me into a pit with a bunch of other slaves, and they told us to kill each other." The memory fuels his fury as he opens a nearby weapon cabinet with a sharp clang, the sound echoing through the air. The tension is palpable. Ello, standing with resolve, commands, "Choose your weapons." Reed, standing firm despite the pressure, responds defiantly, "Never." But Ello, unmoved by Reed's resistance, shoots back coldly, "Do it, slave." Hulk's past is not just a story. It's a nightmare that he now forces others to witness. Hiroim steps forward, his voice heavy with resignation as he says, "It's no use. In the great arena of Sakaar, not even the Silver Surfer could fight his obedience disc." The weight of his words hangs in the air, knowing that the power of control over them is too great to escape. Doctor Strange, frustrated and still reeling from his injuries, snaps back with, "Hiroim, now it's you who goes too far." Hiroim meets the challenge, his expression unwavering as he responds, "I, Strange, may the Prophet forgive and embrace us all." His tone is calm, resigned to the fate that awaits them. Doctor Strange, desperate to hold on to his power despite his broken hand, tries to wield his saber. The effort is painful, and with a strained "Bzzzt" and a gritted "Nerg," his hand trembles before he cries out in agony, "Gah!" The struggle is clear. He's pushed to his limits, but there's no escaping the consequences of his actions. As the scene shifts to northern Vermont, the tension is palpable. An officer on the helicopter speaks urgently into the radio. "Come on, Dave. We gotta have a better plan than this to take out the Hulk. We tried conventional weapons, sir. Poisons won't work, and nukes will just make him stronger. We need the Sentry, the Golden Guardian. He's the only one powerful enough to..." But the officer's voice trails off as the truth hits hard. He's an agoraphobic schizophrenic who spent the past 29 hours standing in his doorway. The grim reality sets in as the officer continues, "Yes, well, that's why we've brought you here, sir, if you make your appeal in person." A heavy silence follows before the officer lets out a frustrated sigh. "So now I gotta do the face-to-face with a nutcase with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns." His frustration is evident as he remembers the failed attempts to reach out to Sentry. "I thought Iron Man talked to him when this whole thing started. What the heck happened with that?" The response is as baffling as it is unsettling. Believe me, sir, we all wish we knew the answer to that one. Meanwhile, in Sentry's house, he sits in silence, eyes closed, lost in his thoughts. The past comes rushing back as he recalls a conversation with Tony Stark. Tony's voice echoes in his mind. "What are you scared of, Robert?" Sentry, deeply troubled by his own limitations, responds with fear. "It's the agoraphobia. Some days I can't. I'm sorry, Tony. You'll have to handle this one yourselves." Tony's response is understanding, but his words carry the weight of desperation. "Understood. Only one problem, Robert. Without you, we'll lose." He presses on, laying out the stakes. "I've analyzed the battleground on the moon. Black Bolt knocked a divot of moon rock the size of Rhode Island into space, and the Hulk survived. He's never been this angry. But you already know that, don't you, Robert?" Sentry's anxiety mounts as he considers the consequences. Against an opponent this powerful, the amount of energy I'd have to expend if I lost control for even a millisecond. Tony, recognizing the fear but pushing forward, says softly, "It scares me too, Robert. Every day I choose between courses of action that could affect billions, even lives. With stakes that high, how dare I decide? But at this point, doing nothing is a decision in and of itself. No matter what you do or don't do, billions could die. You have the responsibility, whether you want it or not. I know you're not ready to hear this, Robert. No sane person ever really is. But it's time to play God." These words linger in Sentry's mind, a reminder of the burden he carries and the world-altering consequences of his actions. In the arena, chaos erupts as the heroes continue their brutal fight against one another. The sounds of clashing blows fill the air. Clang! Ah! Grah! The crowd roars in bloodthirsty excitement, chanting, "Yeah! Who? Bite him! Kick him! Kill! 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 Bleed! Who? Throw him in the crowd." Doctor Strange, with determination and regret, takes on Black Bolt, casting a spell while saying, "Forgive me, Black Bolt. Amun harat bevala, arum harath." Ah! The desperation in his voice echoes through the arena. Meanwhile, Rick watches from the sidelines, a sad expression on his face as he witnesses the carnage unfold. Korg, trying to make sense of the madness, comments, "Greenskin, I think we've made our point." But Elo, with a cold, indifferent tone, responds, "Never, never stop making them play." Reed Richards, fighting with all his might, calls out to Tony Stark, "Tony, for God's sake, defend yourself." But Tony, struggling under the pressure, yells back, come on, I know you can hear me. Fire." In response, Hulk's allies fire their laser guns, their blasts sounding like veep, veep. Elo, unfazed by the chaos, tells Tony, "All right, human, you want to use the machines? Be our guest." Tony, desperate, pleads to Reed, "Reed, they're making me, you've got to, run!" But Reed, following Elo's command, attacks Tony, using his elastic body to strike with precision. Voom! Voom! Grah! With one swift motion, Reed punches Tony in the face. Chuck! And taunts, "How about that? Looks like we're all monsters now." The crowd grows louder, their chants even more frantic. "Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!" Reed raises his weapon, preparing for the final blow, shouting, "No!" Suddenly, Hulk's allies speak out. "Green King, what do you say?" The crowd's voice swells once again. Thumbs up, he lives. Kill, kill. Thumbs down, he dies. Rick, caught in the horror of it all, watches the scene with a heavy heart, his face filled with sadness as the violence continues. The narrative then shifts to Sentry's house, where a quiet, ominous voice speaks. "You hear that, Bruce? It's time to play God." The weight of responsibility and the power to decide the fate of many hang in the balance, leaving us questioning what will happen next in this brutal war. heart of New York City, within the confines of Madison Square Garden, chaos is unfolding. Sue Storm, her voice filled with frustration and desperation, shouts, "For the love of Pete, this ain't right. Bruce, Hulk, you can't do this." She continues, "He'll do whatever he wants, Rick Jones." Sue knows the dire situation they're in, but she can't bear to watch as Hulk's tyranny takes hold. Meek, one of Hulk's allies, coldly adds, "And as long as those puny humans wear our obedience discs, they can't stop him." Now the Hulk has spoken, so kill him, Reed Richards. Kill your Iron Man. The threat is clear, and Meek's words echo the cruel power that Hulk now commands. The fate of their allies rests in Reed's hands. Reed Richards, however, refuses to give in. With unwavering determination, he declares, "No, I won't do it. I won't." He's resolute, refusing to become a weapon in Hulk's brutal campaign. The tension is palpable as Reed stands against the overwhelming force Hulk has become. But the question remains, how long can he hold his ground? Hulk, his voice filled with fury, confronts Reed Richards with a searing accusation. "Why not, Richards? You already killed a whole world, the planet Sakaar, where the warring tribes had finally come together, where children played on the shuttle you sent, the shuttle you exploded. My people, my wife, and the child in her belly. You killed them all." Hulk's words are a painful reminder of the devastation caused by the actions of Reed and his allies, a past that now haunts Reed as he faces the consequences of his decisions. Reed, desperate to explain himself, responds, "No, Hulk, I've tried to tell." But Hulk's rage interrupts him. "Why stop now?" Hulk's words are sharp, condemning, and unforgiving. In a final attempt to turn the tide, Reed calls out to Tony, urging him, "Ha! Tony, use your powers to override the discs." Tony, struggling against the control of the obedience discs, responds, "Close, just need a few more. Now, I can't stop." But it's too late. Reed, in his frustration and desperation, attacks the ground with his stretched out form, the sound of the impact reverberating through the arena. Chunk! Tensions are high as Reed and Tony scramble to regain control, but the weight of their past mistakes and the Hulk's wrath continue to bear down on them. Tony, his voice shaky from the tension, exclaims, "Whoa, almost." As the weight of the situation settles in, Reed lifts Tony up, his words carrying a sense of disbelief and awe. "Tony, you did it." Tony, though still struggling with the effects of the obedience disc, quickly corrects him. "No, Reed, I've only cracked 2 sectors on my disc. Haven't even touched yours. It was him." Tony's words hint at the presence of someone far more powerful at work behind the scenes, but it's clear that the real power lies with Hulk. In the midst of the chaos, Ello and Meek shout in confusion and anger, "Hulk! Why do they live?" Rick Jones, with a sad, knowing look, responds calmly, "Because you don't know the real Hulk, Meek." Hulk's voice, filled with challenge, cuts through the air as he asks, "And you think you do?" The question hangs heavy, a reminder that the Hulk is a force beyond comprehension, and those around him are still struggling to fully understand the depth of his anger and power. The intense battle in the arena comes to an abrupt halt as Hulk stands tall, his voice booming through the tension-filled air. "Remember this, puny humans," he declares, his tone cold and resolute. "We came here for justice, not murder, so no one on your planet has died by our hands, and no one will, but we'll make sure no one on Earth will ever forget what you are." The words hit hard, each one dripping with anger and the weight of the Hulk's mission. Iron Man, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt respond, their voices filled with frustration and guilt. "Liars, traitors, and killers. For the last time, Bruce. We didn't." Hulk's rage intensifies as he cuts them off, his words full of finality. "Now, we'll raze this city to the ground and leave you to shame." Doctor Strange, trying one last time to reason with the Hulk, replies, "We've tried to explain again and again, but you won't listen. So this This is your last chance to surrender. For a moment, there's a tense silence before Hulk, his confusion evident, responds with a simple, chilling question. Or what? The stage is set for the ultimate showdown as the line between justice and vengeance blurs for the Hulk, and the fate of Earth hangs in the balance. The tension in the arena reaches its peak as a new force enters the fray, the Sentry. With a powerful explosion, he destroys the arena's structure, his punch hitting the Hulk with an earth-shattering quagloom. "Hello, old friend," Sentry says coldly, his voice full of determination. Hulk, battered and bloodied, warns, "You don't want this fight, Sentry." But Sentry's resolve is unwavering. "Yes, God help me, I do, because you're the only one I can hit like this." With that, he unleashes a brutal barrage of punches. Pam, 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 pack, pack, scrack-rack, poom, each one landing with bone-crushing force. The Hulk, now feeling the weight of the battle, responds with fierce defiance. "All right, Stark, Richards, all you. Never forget, whatever happens next, it is on your heads." The two titans clash with a fury that's almost impossible to describe. Sentry lands another crushing blow to Hulk's face, but Hulk, never one to back down, retaliates with a devastating strike. Crackle, cram. Both heroes are bleeding, their bodies battered, but neither showing any sign of giving up. The battle escalates, both Sentry and Hulk unleashing their ultimate power. The resulting explosion, boom, is deafening, shaking the very earth beneath them. Korg, watching from the sidelines, turns to Ben Grimm, asking, "Ben Grimm, what's your Sentry doing?" Ben, grimacing, replies, "He ain't mine, Korg. But if I had to guess, I'd say he's busting out the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns." Reed Richards, his voice filled with disbelief, looks on in shock. "But he's an agoraphobic schizophrenic terrified of his own power. He's never unleashed it like before. Tony, what the hell did you tell him?" The stakes are higher than ever, as two of the strongest beings on Earth battle it out, with the fate of everything hanging in the balance. Tony Stark, watching the battle unfold, somberly mutters, "I said that sometimes to do the right thing, you just have to play God." His words hang in the air, the weight of the decision heavy on his conscience. General Ross, observing the chaos, scowls, his frustration boiling over. "You morons, trading one monster for another." He sees the destruction Sentry is causing and knows that this is spiraling out of control. Hiroim, however, steps in to clarify, his voice steady despite the destruction. "Not monster, General Ross. He is a world breaker." The meaning of his words cuts deeper. This is no ordinary battle. The Hulk's power, his anger, can break worlds. As the battle rages on, the inevitable happens. Hulk, overcome by Sentry's devastating power, begins to fall. With a mighty crash, he plummets from the sky, his immense form crashing to the ground, drained by the force of Sentry's assault. Rick Jones watches in horror, his voice filled with dread as he exclaims, "Oh God, no, just everything else on the planet." The fear is palpable. This is a catastrophic moment. Meek, ever unshaken, scoffs at the worry, his alien voice filled with disdain. "What are you worried about, Rick Jones? He can't kill the Hulk." But the stakes are higher than ever. The Hulk, the most powerful being on Earth, is vulnerable, something no one ever thought possible. The tension in the air is suffocating. The fight has changed the course of everything, and the consequences will reverberate across the planet. Reed, desperate to find a solution, turns to Tony with urgency. "Tony, we have to stop this. With the stone ship down, the satellites should be back online." His words are frantic as the stakes grow higher with every passing second. Tony, still trying to calculate a way out, responds with a grim tone. "Tapped Baker David 5 and 6, but it's not nearly enough." His frustration is evident. The technology, the plans, they're not enough to halt the Sentry's overwhelming power. Suddenly, Brood, the alien ally, steps forward, taking a protective stance over Tony and Reed. His massive form shields them from the full force of Sentry's sun-like energy. Elo, bewildered, questions his actions. Why are you saving them, Brood? They brought this on themselves. Brood's response is firm, his voice resonating with reason amidst the chaos. And if only their lives were at stake, Elo, we might walk away. But we didn't come here to watch another world die. The weight of his words echoes the reality of the situation. The fate of their world and the Earth hangs in the balance. Back to Tony and Reed, the duo continues their work despite the growing pressure. Tony speaks up again, his voice tinged with hope. Got the Chinese fire stars, working on the Russian experimental. Reed, focused on their mission, adds, and there's the Shi'ar probe in Sector 5-7. They're piecing together a plan, one that might just be enough to stop the Sentry, but time is running out. Suddenly, the ground shakes as the Hulk rises again, his fury unyielding. With the power of the sun coursing through him, the Hulk's voice roars out in defiance. Stupid humans, you think your machines can stop him? The tension in the air is electric. With the Hulk's power and the Sentry's relentless force, it feels like the Earth is on the verge of destruction. And only one thing is certain, the outcome is still uncertain. The battle between the Hulk and the Sentry intensifies. Hulk roars, "Roar!" unleashing his fury upon his opponent. Sentry, with a calm yet taunting tone, responds, "Ah, Bruce, you have to tell me something. Does it always feel this good when you finally let go?" But Hulk's rage doesn't subside. Gak! He powers through the assault, both of them clashing once again. The sound of their fight fills the air. Shank! Ah! Jvm! Stlsk! Vam! Ta! The earth-shattering blows continue as they exchange strikes. Funny! Spiz! Spiz! Spack! Spiz! Sk. Their destructive power threatens to tear the world apart. In the midst of the chaos, Sentry's voice rings out, tinged with both sorrow and understanding. All these years, I tried to calm you down. And now, at the end of it all, it's me who can't seem to stop. Goodbye, old friend. The weight of those words reflects the deep bond between the two, despite the battle and the finality of their confrontation. Meanwhile, Tony and Reed, working desperately to hack into the satellite systems, continue their efforts to stop the catastrophic battle. Reed, urging Tony to act, says, "Now, Tony." Tony, his focus unwavering, responds with tension in his voice. Still hacking the database, haven't measured the effects of the combined rays. Time is running out. Reed, realizing the urgency, pushes forward. So narrow the scope of fire, call the containment teams, but we've got to hit them now. Their final hope to stop the destruction lies in this one last attempt, as the titans of Hulk and Sentry continue their destructive clash, leaving Earth hanging in the balance. The battle between the Hulk and Sentry reaches a devastating climax. Both heroes are badly bleeding, their bodies battered from the relentless fighting. Hulk's voice echoes through the chaos, full of rage and defiance. "Stupid. They can call you whatever they want. Savior, destroyer. All that matters is what you choose." With those words, the battle escalates to a cataclysmic level, the sheer force of their clash igniting an explosion of energy. The sun's power surges, creating a blinding explosion that shakes the very foundations of the battlefield. Boom! The earth trembles as their final strike unleashes a wave of destruction, leaving nothing but devastation in its wake. The world watches in horror as the two titans push to their absolute limits, unleash their ultimate fury, and the battle rages on with no clear victor in sight. As the battle between Hulk and Sentry rages on, the destruction seems endless. Their bodies, pushed to the brink of exhaustion, begin to return to normal. Slowly, both Hulk and Sentry's monstrous forms shrink back, transforming into their human selves. The sounds of their battered bodies shifting, scrack, frack, crack, fill the air as the Titans' fight winds down. Korg, Brood, and Elo, watch in stunned silence as the Hulk's massive frame shrinks. "Who? Where is the Hulk?" they ask, unable to recognize the human figure standing before them. Rick Jones, looking at the transformed Hulk, speaks softly. "Within each of us lives the World Breaker, and the Sakarson who redeems the world. Today, finally, the Hulk knows who he is." "Bruce, welcome home." But not everyone shares this understanding. Meek, still furious, shouts, "No, you are not done yet. Come back to us, Hulk." In a desperate attempt to force Bruce back into the fight, Meek pulls out a saber, aiming to strike. But before he can, Rick Jones makes a split-second decision. He pushes Bruce away, taking the full brunt of the blow for his friend. Svki. The sound of the saber stabbing Rick echoes through the air. Rick falls, wounded, but his sacrifice shows the depth of his loyalty to Bruce, the Hulk, and the cause they fought for. As Rick Jones lays on the ground, gravely injured from Miek's strike, Bruce's emotions boil over. The anger that has fueled him throughout this journey erupts once again with a guttural roar. Gurgpak! Bruce's body shifts, transforming back into the Hulk, stronger and more furious than ever. Without hesitation, Hulk charges at Meek, landing a devastating blow. Gra, Skoom, Slaklam! The sound of Hulk's attack reverberates in the air, and Meek's voice cracks with desperation. "No, Hulk, we're warbound. We stand with each other to the..." But before Meek can finish, another voice cuts through the chaos. A monstrous figure calls out, "Hulk, wait! Meek was your first friend. You can't." Meek, battered and on the edge of defeat, replies with conviction, "No, Rick was the first, so he can, and he will." Hack! In this moment of fury and sacrifice, the battle has become not just a war for justice, but a fight between old alliances and the breaking of bonds. Bruce, in his Hulk form, must now face the harsh truth of his choices. In a violent fury, the Hulk continues to unleash his rage on Meek, his fists pounding into the insect-like warrior again and again. Skak, splurp, sklruk. Each blow lands with the power of a wrecking ball, and Meek, battered and on the brink of collapse, struggles to speak through the pain. "Because this is what you were made for," Meek says, voice hoarse. "Don't let them stop you, Hulk. Never stop making them pay. That's what you taught me. That's why I killed them. That's why you'll kill me." And then, now you see. Meek's words drip with cold truth as he continues. "I always have to remind you, because you always forget. Like when you found your queen, all you wanted was peace, but that's not who you are. You conquered Sakaar, killed the Red King. We should have slaughtered his people, but you let them live." Meek reveals the ultimate betrayal. "So I watched them load an old warp core onto that shuttle. They thought it would kill you, but I knew it would just remind you of what you were made for." He breathes in sharply, as Hulk's fists continue their brutal assault. Brood, witnessing the destruction, slaps Meek's face in fury. "The children you own, brother hivelings, 1,000,000 souls." Meek's response is chilling as he whispers, "We all must die. All this passing, so the next thing can come, so the World Breaker can finally make an end." Hulk, hearing these words, lets out a guttural roar of anger. Smrkuk. His rage intensifies, the air crackling with fury as he faces the devastating truth of what Meek has set in motion. A plan that has been years in the making, leading to this explosive confrontation. Reed Richards, trying to calm the raging Hulk, reaches out, his voice filled with empathy. "Bruce, it's all right. We'll help you this time." But Hulk, consumed by fury and pain, shouts back in a violent outburst, "Stop. None of this would have happened. I've hated you forever, almost as much as I hate myself. Do it before I break the world." The weight of his words is heavy, and the tension thickens in the air. Tony Stark, never one to back down from a difficult situation, takes charge. "God help us all," he mutters under his breath, his focus absolute. 3-meter focus. 1 9-millisecond burst every 100 milliseconds. Target TS-53, Anthony Stark dose. Commence tracking. Wait for my mark. As the satellite locks in on its target, a weaponized beam is prepared, ready to strike the Hulk. But inside his mind, the Hulk is consumed by memories, a dreamlike state where a voice softly whispers, "I will never leave you. I know, and now, I'll never leave you." The words echo, revealing a deep connection, an internal conflict that transcends the rage and violence of the moment. The storm within Bruce Banner is reaching its peak, and the world stands on the precipice, with Tony and the others now playing their final hand to stop the unstoppable. The fate of everyone hangs in the balance, as Hulk's internal struggle mirrors the impending external destruction. As the dust settles, the Hulk begins to transform, his massive form shrinking back to that of Bruce Banner, the man behind the monster. And with that transformation, the story of the Hulk reaches its defining moment, the culmination of his journey. Bruce, now standing as a normal human once again, reflects on the chaos that has unfolded and the choices that have shaped his path. He speaks with a quiet yet powerful truth. They can call you whatever they want, savior, destroyer. All that matters is what you choose. In these words, Bruce reveals the heart of his struggle, the conflict between the man he was and the beast he became. The battle is over, but the internal fight, the journey of self-acceptance and power, remains. As Bruce stands amidst the wreckage of his past, he turns to those around him. Bear witness to his choice, children, and give thanks to your gods, and then pray for their mercy. For tonight, the Hulk may sleep, but his rage will never die. The narrative closes with a somber understanding that even as the Hulk's storm has calmed, the fury that lives inside will never fully fade. The war may be over, but the Hulk's story is far from finished. It's the end of World War Hulk, but a new chapter for Bruce Banner begins. One where the legacy of the Hulk's rage will continue to shape him forever.